Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. Time is 6:30 p.m. I'm John Dwanzik, and this is the regular meeting of the Avon Lake Board of Municipal Utilities. Tonight, we have a full board here with us, starting at my far right, Mr. Ricky, and to his left, Mrs. Schnabel. To my left is Mr. Rush, and to his left is Mr. Abram. Also with us tonight is Chief Utilities Executive, Mr. Rob Monroe, to my right, and Chief of Utility Operations, Mr. Greg Urinich. Also tonight, we are honored to have Mayor Mark Spetzel with us in the public seating area, and also with us tonight, it's not a dishonor, but he's hired by us, Mr. Tony Coyne, from outside counsel, who advises us on legal matters in the meetings. Tonight's meeting is being streamed on Facebook and YouTube, and if you are in that audience, you have the opportunity for public input at the appropriate time, but you can make your comments at any time on the provided comment area, and Mr. Urinich will be keeping one eye on those things as we go along. With 5 board members present, any motion made will require 3 votes to support it, and all votes are taken by voice except for a motion to go into executive session, which we do have one planned tonight. That will be by a roll call vote. Mr. Rush, traditionally I ask you, have I covered everything?
I believe you have.
Okay, thank you. So let's move on tonight with the first matter is approval of the May 7th meeting minutes. Are there any comments on those? Hearing none, then they are approved as submitted. Thank you, Mr. Urinich. Next item is public speakers. If you typed fast in the cyber world, we may see your comments. Mayor Spetzel, anything you'd like to say at this time?
No, sir. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anything, Mr. Urinich?
Nothing at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Then we'll move on to correspondence, and that goes to Mr. Monroe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do not have any correspondence this evening to pass along.
Okay. Any questions on that from the board? All right. Let's move on to expenditures. I direct you to your goldenrod sheets. And if someone would like to make a motion, we will get started on that. Mr. Abram?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to approve Avon Lake Regional Water expenses from May 3rd through May 16, 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Abram. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rush. Discussion. Mr. Abram, Mr. Ricky?
Nope.
Okay. Everyone have their phones silenced?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If there's no other questions, I have a couple. First thing come to Mr. Monroe is number 15 on Fund 701, OPERS. Is that a total including the recent adjustment to board pay?
Looking at the date range, I believe it is, but I will have to verify to.
Okay,
I don't want to misstate that.
May be an unplanned expense. Not that it's going to be a lot, but
Correct.
okay.
Correct. No, in overall budget wise, we should have approximately 62% remaining budget at this point of the year, and that line item we're about 70. So
We're in good shape.
I think we should be okay
Okay.
if it does not include the adjustment.
Next item, number 17, Mr. Monroe, and this goes along with Fund 721, line 18. I think it's worth noting in the board meeting that Mr. Monroe has achieved his Master of Business Administration. And if I had a hat on, I'd take it off to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're proud of your accomplishment, and That's a reimbursement for your tuition.
Yes, and I would just add to that, I appreciate the board support, staff support, my family, friends. It's been a long 2 years, but very fulfilling, and looking forward to moving on to other endeavors.
Good. Next item is number 23 on Fund 721, Municipal fees. And I noticed that's a duplicate on the water fund as well. So I'm counting 3,600 and change per month for Municipal. Is this the low-cost provider for this kind of service? It seems like a lot, 3,600 a month to collect, whatever, $1 million, couple million.
So the Municipal is for accepting credit cards, online payments, that function. As we are transitioning, and I believe we're looking at go live in June on our new customer software, Springbrook, Mr. Logan has been looking and shopping that around to ensure that we are getting the best rate for utilizing credit cards.
Well, I noticed that Municipal does not cheat me for emails. They send me a lot of them.
Yes.
Next item that I want to question you about is Fund 762 ETL2. There's a big payment from that fund to Avon Lake Regional Water. Can you please explain that item?
Yes, so that's an expense from the ETL Fund 2, ETL2 fund to Avon Lake Regional Water for the water that the bulk customers used off of the ETL2 line. There is while the dollar amount is not as much, but line item 12 in the ETL1 fund is the same. So that is the monthly charge for using water off of the ETLs by the respective consortium members.
Mhm.
And so that it shows as an expense on this sheet, and then shows as a revenue to Avon Lake Regional Water.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Ricky.
is the rate of those, how do I say this? The rates that are being charged to ETL 1 and 2 for the water usage, is that 10% above our standard rate?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's what I
And
expected it
and
to
the
say.
ETLs also have an MOR, which is your maintenance, operation, and repair rate. So it's whether they have a direct connection from us on our system, or they take off of the ETLs, they pay 10% above an Avon Lake customer's rate. And on the ETLs specifically, there's an MOR, so that's an addition that's added on as well.
In that number,
Yes.
okay.
I think it bears noting to Mr. Ricky, and I'll let you take it, but when you say the same rate, they don't necessarily pay the same rate as you at your house because they get a bulk discount. They have gigantic numbers, so their rate is lower. But then if you were in Avon Lake and had that kind of consumption, for example, a Ford plant or Geon or something like that, they get that bulk rate, and then so that's in Avon Lake, and then it's 10% more outside of Avon Lake. But their rate per gallon may be less than yours. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Yes.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure
Because
we're
we have
clear, so you don't look at theirs and say, that's not 10%.
yeah.
You know, they may
There's-
be about the same, I guess, by the time you get there.
There's 3 tiers of our rates. So the more consumption, the lower the rate is.
Right. We hope for everyone in our customer base that there's no tiers.
Correct.
Okay. Next item then. Oh, we have any other questions for Mr. Ricky?
Yeah, I have one, 48 of 701. Took a minute for my eyes to get adjusted to the print. The treasurer of the state of Ohio, $5,400. Am I to assume that we've been certified now for trace metals? That we paid that fee, everything is now,
Yes. We don't like to assume, but you did assume correctly.
okay. I mean,
And Mr. Yernich will report on that in
okay,
project
I
updates.
just saw it
a little
on
later.
here and I'm.
Yes.
Number 48.
Number 48.
Where it was $5,400 for the treasurer.
maybe when we get to that other item, I'll ask you, like, what's the wisdom of taxing that to a public entity like us? But we'll let that go for later.
We'll let the lawyers handle that one.
Right.
Is that a yearly fee we pay for that? No, is that like just
No, it's
because
an
we're getting
initial.
recertified with the new
Because it was
machine?
the initial
Mhm.
certification that required the site visits and I guess analysis of all the data that we submitted. That's the fee that the Ohio EPA charges.
So that when it's the Ohio EPA charging it, it goes to the treasurer of the state.
Correct.
I
Yes,
see,
gotcha.
okay, that makes
That's the
sense.
collection
Okay.
agency,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
Thank you. That was my question.
Any other questions, gentlemen, ladies? Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Let's move on to non-bargaining employee wages, Mr. Monroe.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The CUO and myself, we have completed all the annual performance evaluations for our non-bargaining employees. And this will be a discussion that we would like to have later in the meeting in the executive session and provide more information for you at that time.
Right. Okay. Any comments on that from anyone? Okay. Next item is Mr. Urinich's, moments in the sun, project updates.
All right, for the power plant update,
I will share.
We have some screen time.
we do have some pictures.
What are we gonna see, Greg?
So we will see that the demolition of the main turbine hall is over halfway completed. They've gone through multiple levels, all the way down to the basement. So
Hold on, Mr. Monroe is still trying to bring that to the general screen. Share screen.
I'm gonna go up here, do this.
There it is. Can we go full screen on it?
So that is a picture more of where I guess the treatment building outside of the retention pond was located. That has since been
I hate to, start calling a no-hitter in the fifth inning, but you know,
Sure.
it's a good job on that, as well as, from what I can tell, the
I
environmental.
mean, anytime we visited the site, they're very adamant. I mean, they obviously do their safety gear check and
That's good. I mean, all things considered, it's, a sausage factory, is a tough place to look at, but, it's going well altogether. And we have a great deal of confidence in it being completed in a safe and environmentally sound way. So, thank you, Mr. Urinich. What do you got next?
ETL Design Services. The engineering services manager, we had, gone back and forth with Rail Pros. They were the ones that would handle the easement agreements for Norfolk Southern. When that didn't get any headway, we had made the decision to relocate the routing of the suction line heading to the Moore Road Pump Station to go underneath the public right-of-way at the railroad crossing. So they've been working on finalizing those plans. They're in the process of conducting some soil borings and hydro excavating, using the Vector to suck straight down to physically locate the edges of any infrastructure that's underground. So that when they do design these plans, there's no surprises once, we would start construction. So they've been working on that. The COE continues to work with the law director and Connie Carr regarding the ETL agreements. I don't know if you have anything you wish to.
No, really the big thing on the ETL agreements is they were originally done, ETL 1 was originally done on a typewriter. And they called for the original construction of the projects. So the agreements are going to be amended and restated, modernized basically, but they actually have to be typed. We can scan them and try to do some text recognition, but there's still a lot of that has to be done. But we are working on that. And then the next step is once we have that to take to our consortium members to get agreement from everyone. So,
Okay.
Excuse me, what is the timeline right now? What are you thinking? We're going to start this project.
we're hoping that we're going to have about 2 months, maybe 2.5 months left with the soil borings, the potholing. There's 6 additional sheets that are going to be required, doing the base maps on the design end of it. So we hope that by end of third quarter we're ready to go to bid.
What is I mean, I'm kind of disappointed in the railroad not being a good neighbor. I mean, they cut through our city and they don't seem to be very, they have done nothing to help expedite this situation at all, and just seem to continue to throw up roadblocks and
You're absolutely right.
and costs associated with this whole project. And I know that you did some economics on it and relocating and redesigning the darn thing to go through the roadway there is still cheaper than paying the exorbitant rate they wanted every 20 years.
Yeah,
to renew the contract.
they wanted it's called a license agreement because it was going under their infrastructure on private property. Their license agreement that they wanted was a 20-year license agreement. They wanted $80,000. If that were a one-time fee, that's one thing. And that's in essence what we're doing here with the redesign is we're going to spend that much, but it's going to be one time that we're going to spend that. When you cross the railroad tracks at a grade crossing in the right of way, the fee is $1,900, $1,900 one time. So we are very disappointed in that as well. I'm not surprised in the years that I've dealt with the railroad that it was as difficult as it was. It's not surprising, but we are actually on the ETL 1 discharge line along the tracks. There's a couple of areas that we're redesigning that, moving off of Norfolk Southern property so that we do not have to deal with them.
Well, from this board member's perspective, it's very disappointing. Their lack of helping us make this happen, because it is for the better of the whole. I mean, this is needed. We need to get this done, and they've done nothing to help expedite that situation at all. So, just my opinion.
Okay, Mr. Urinich, continue.
The water filtration plant improvements. They've been doing a lot of also the potholing, the physical verification of any infrastructure we have at the plant in the areas where the new filters will be installed, where the chemical feed building will be located. They removed in front of, you used to be able to see it when you would drive past the front of the plant. There was kind of a mound of dirt at the end of the filter building. They've excavated that down to just regular grade so that they can start prepping that site for some doing actual work. They installed the temporary construction fencing. They had to relocate the existing fencing for the duration of this project so that they can perform the work in that area while also maintaining security of the site. And so they've been doing quite a bit of verification on site. That's kind of been the focus of their work thus far.
All right.
And for the inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometer, May 15th, staff had their survey with the Ohio EPA. They were informed, I believe the next day, that they had successfully completed all of the requirements. While they have not been issued the physical certificate yet, they have the letter from the EPA stating that they will receive those certificates shortly, but they are fully certified and they're now able to run analysis on drinking water. We've been contacting neighboring communities as far as gaining more customers that would bring their lead and copper is typically the big ones that they're looking into right now, but we've got a couple of communities that are going to be bringing their samples to our laboratory for analysis. So we'll be able to start putting this equipment to use.
And that's the self-same fee that Mr. Ricky asked about earlier? That
Correct.
license fee? So when you have this license, besides using the machine that you bought and trained everybody on, what else can you do with it?
As far as
Does it give you permission, like, or special privileges, or? What
so
do you
the
get for your
certification was
$100 from one municipal entity paid to the state? What do you get?
the certification is required on the drinking water side. For the wastewater samples, they've yet, and I do believe it will be coming in the future requiring certification, but that is just to get you through, you went through quite the process of performing the unknowns, the process development, the standard procedure for each metal, getting those verified. So I guess that's to recoup some of the costs from the EPA for reviewing all of that data.
I suppose. Are there many municipal corporations that have these licenses, or is it mostly private?
A few of the larger water plants, like when you get into your Cleveland, those types of municipal plants will typically have it, but a lot of it is more on the private side.
And I could see if it was on the private side, you're going to make money on it, but like municipal side, it'll be like, wink and a nod, I would think. But anyway, okay. Thank you for that. Nothing on the SCADA communication upgrade. Okay. That brings us along to, I think, everybody's favorite part of the meeting, the CUE report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of items to report on. One regarding the Lorco sewer system, working with Lorco and representatives from Lorain County regarding the tie-in of some county customers into the system, which is welcome news. The we are currently working to draft an agreement because of our cooperative agreement with Lorco. We would be a party to this, so we're looking forward to that. This will add some more customers to the system, so there will be more to come. Looking at approximately 450 residential customers that would all become Lorco customers, and also the IGA store out there that would be a customer of it as well. So that's good news. And like I said, we will have more when I do have a agreement to bring for the board's review and approval.
And any idea when we might have such an agreement?
I hope that we have it before summer recess. So that's
Very soon.
Very soon. Yes.
Okay.
And the last item I have to update on is just regarding our cooperative agreement with TechWin and our on-site sodium hypochlorite generating system. We do have a meeting scheduled Thursday evening because of the time difference with our partners. It'll be at 7 p.m. Our time, 8 a.m. their time. But we are finalizing our schedule for our pilot program and the shipping of the equipment that they will be providing as part of the agreement. So we are looking forward to progressing on that.
Okay.
And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Monroe. Any member reports at this time? Mr.
I
Avon?
have a member report. There's I given each member of the board a couple articles. One is dealing with the US EPA update on the PFSA problem. The other article is information about septic tanks.
About what? Septic tanks?
You might not be aware of the problems that a septic tank can cause. Like there's an article from the Wall Street Journal of all places, but it's interesting about this. Enjoy reading it and looking at it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Abram. Any other members with reports? Mr. Ricky?
I attended the Building and Utilities Committee meeting last night, and it was informative and kind of keeping in touch with what's going on in town here and what they're doing to help two bigger items, of course, are ditch cleanouts and CalDIP. So we'll keep our ears to future meetings and work sessions and make sure I attend those.
Okay, anyone else? From my standpoint, we did meet with representatives of Sixmo Architectural Firm pursuant to some of the development plans that we are looking at for the properties we acquired. And also, I did hear back from Mr. Monroe and Mr. Urinich, but I did write an introduction to the Consumer Confidence Report. Is that along the lines of what you were looking for?
Yeah, I think we may have to edit just to fit on page, but we'll work through the formatting on that, and we'll be in touch with you.
John
Yes.
gave you a lot of information.
Well, it is what we were looking for. We just want, like I said, the way we do the template on it. We'll have to arrange some things, but no, as always, we as it's called, the Consumer Confidence Report, and we're confident in the what we're doing. So good.
We like to be like Sears. We install confidence night and day. Who's old enough to remember that?
I do. Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of us are. Okay, that's all I have. Any more public speakers, Mayor?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Urinich?
There are not any comments, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, hearing none, let's move on to the proposed executive session. Would someone like to make the motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Rush.
Before we do that, based on the discussion in executive session, the board may take formal action upon returning from the open session.
That part won't be on broadcast.
Correct.
I believe.
Correct, that's why I'm mentioning it now. But, anyone from the public is welcome to come when we reconvene. I move to meet in executive session as allowed by Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22, G1 and G3, to discuss the compensation of public employee and pending or imminent court actions, and to include the CUE, the CUO, and a representative from Manzer Gavin.
Thank you, Mr. Rush. Is there a
I'll
second?
second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Mr. Abram. Discussion? Okay, voice call vote, Mrs. Schnabel,
Yes.
Mr. Ricky.
Yes.
Mr. Abram.
Aye.
Mr. Rush.
Yes.
Chairman votes aye. So we will go into executive session. The time is slightly after 7:00. Thank you all in the audience for watching and coming. Mayor,
Good one, everybody.
thanks for everything.